In the headlines, bandits kill 7 worshippers, wound others in Kaduna mosque attack. Navy hands over 5 suspected oil thieves to Lagos police. 2 people dead, 5 others injured in Ondo road accident. And away from Nigeria, detained Senegal opposition leader Sonko ends hunger strike. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us in now the details. We'll start with security. Suspected bandits have attacked worshippers in a mosque at Saya village in Ikara local government area of Kaduna State, killing 7 people. 5 of the victims were gunned down in the mosque, while the remaining 2 victims were killed at different locations within the area. The incident happened around 8 p.m. when the villagers were performing Isha'i sunset prayers at a mosque, according to local sources. A resident of the village, Dan Asabe, said 2 other villagers who sustained gunshot wounds were rushed to the hospital for treatment. The village head, Abdul Rahman Yusuf, confirmed the incident, saying the head of the vigilante in the village was among the victims killed inside the mosque. He said security agencies comprising soldiers and police from Ikara town and Palgore area arrived at the scene around 12:30 a.m., but by then the bandits had already left the village. Acting Public Relations Officer of the State Police Commander Mansur Al-Hassan, who confirmed the incident, said security personnel had been mobilized to nearby bushes to fish out the perpetrators. And now our reporter from Kaduna, Bello Musa, will be joining us via phone call to give us more updates on the details. Now, Bello, can you bring us up to speed, with the situation in Kaduna State?
Well, the incident happened at in the local government, which is bordering Kano State. The situation in the village now is that of mourning and fear, because the local government has been enjoying relative peace. But with the recent attack on worshippers, other 2 that were killed within the Saya village, the villagers are now entertaining fear of because they don't know what will happen next. And it appears to many there's speculation in the village that the attackers were targeting the chairman of the vigilante, the area, who was among the 5 worshippers that were going down in the mosque.
It's a really sad situation down there. So, Bello, what is the situation, of the people of that particular location? I mean, how are they taking this sad incident?
Well, I said earlier that the situation in the community is that of mourning. People are mourning for the 5 people that were killed, and also they are entertaining fear, because this is the local government has been enjoying a relative peace. There were no activities of bandits and other criminal elements, despite the fact that the local government is building Falgore forest, which is a thick forest, and there are a lot of criminal elements within the forest. So the locals now are entertaining fear and also praying and calling on the state government and security agencies to ensure that the safety of their lives and the property.
So have the dead been buried?
Yeah. Most of them are buried according to Islamic rites.
So, Bello Musa, the report says that the police, that's the security agency, did not go there until about 4 hours later. So what is the situation? Are there no police stations close, to the area, or was it the fault of the security agency of not, reacting quickly to that matter?
Well, actually, the combined security agencies, including military, arrived the area around 12:30 Saturday morning. And the public relations officer of the Kaduna State Command, the acting public relations officer of the Kaduna State Police Command, Mr. Hamid, said the villagers did not inform the security agencies while the attackers were carrying out their activities until they had left the village. Maybe this could be the reason why the security agencies did not respond to the attack.
Well, we hope that the perpetrators are brought to book. Bello Musa, thank you so much for that update.
Thank you.
All right, away from that, residents of Kuchiko Resettlement Development Area located in Bwari have raised an alarm over rising cases of kidnapping within the area. This followed the latest incident in the early hours of Saturday in the area popularly known as El Rafai Estate. The victim, Chinedu, was whisked away from his house within the estate. The victim's wife told Daily Trust that the kidnappers, who were armed forcefully, took away her husband after breaking through the fence to gain entrance into their compound. They were yet to establish contact with the family by the press time. And chairman of the Kuchiko Resettlement Development Area, Maibaba Bego, who confirmed this, disclosed that the latest incident has brought to 5 the number of kidnapping cases that have occurred in the area in the last couple of months. He called for the deployment of security personnel to the area to avert further incidents. Police Public Relations Officer of the Federal Capital Territory, Josephine Ade, could not be reached for comments. The Nigerian Navy says it has handed over 4 men who were suspected to be on an oil theft operation to the Lagos Command of the Nigerian Police. The commander of NNS Beecroft, Lagos, Commodore Kolawole Oguntuga, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Lagos. The report.
While addressing the press on Friday at the Lagos State Command, said the Nigerian Navy, stationed at FOB Lekki, foiled an attempted oil theft operation on the waterways near Itolu Community, Lekki, on Wednesday, 29 August, when local youths reported gunshots in the community. Oguntuga stated that upon receiving a distress call from the Itolu community, its patrol teams immediately launched a response operation which led to the arrest of 4 men dressed in black polo with Tan Tita written on it.
These men were trying to forcefully collect an outboard engine, 300 horsepower outboard engine, from a local. In fact, they were screaming, thief, 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 when the men got there. They were able to apprehend them and retrieve the engine. It was after this arrest, the men now realized that these 4 individuals are a part of a group escorting a wooden boat with 2 fiber boats.
He assured law-abiding citizens, particularly those in coastal communities, that security agencies will not relent in their effort towards making sure the environment is conducive for them to go about their legitimate businesses.
Sophisticated bulletproof platforms that were handed over to the police. The chief of the naval staff came to commission this boat. It's because of the synergy, and these boats have been coming to our dockyard for maintenance. And there we share information, we share intelligence. So we are working together. And the leadership will continue to sustain this synergy and will take it to greater heights for other states to learn. Thank you.
The Lagos Commissioner of Police, Idowu Owohunwa, while receiving the suspects and exhibits, assured of working with the Navy to clear the waterways of crimes and criminality.
And that is a clear statement to the criminals that as far as Lagos State internal security space is concerned, they have in us a very strong united force to respond and commonly deal with any group, network, individuals that might wish to test our common will. The will remains strong. The synergy remains strong.
He thanked Oguntuga for the confidence and the operational breakthrough that has been recorded under his command and assured that the two agencies will work together to keep Lagosians safe.
Still in security, the police command in Katsina has arrested 10 suspected fraudsters in possession of fake 144,000 naira notes. The command spokesperson, ASP Aliyu Abubakar Sadiq, said this in Katsina on Friday. According to him, the suspects were arrested by detectives in August 28 at Bakin Kaswa quarters in Kankia following credible intelligence report. Abubakar Sadiq added that during investigation, the suspects allegedly confessed to the crime, adding that they will soon be taken to court. One of the suspects, Bello Abubakar, 58, said he bought mercury from Kebbi at 300,000 naira, with which they mint the fake currency. The police also announced the arrest of 4 suspected kidnappers and their informant. The Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, the SEMA, has revealed that 1 person lost his life while 14 others sustained varying degrees of injuries due to flooding in Damaturu, the state capital. The executive secretary of the agency, Mohammed Goji, who disclosed this on Friday via his verified Facebook page, noted that SEMA team had carried out a rapid assessment of the disaster. Goje said findings revealed that over 200 households have been affected in Ganyankura, Malari behind WFP warehouse, Pompomari, Nainawa, Abari West and Bula Bulent Alaka communities. While commiserating with the victims, the humanitarian agency assured that they would receive first-line support within available resources. He enjoined communities to adhere to early warnings on relocation, drainage, clearing, and all measures that will prevent adverse effects of flooding. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Ondo State Command said 2 people died while 5 others were injured in an accident on Friday night at Olokuta area of the Akure Ondo Road. Ezekiel Sonala, the sector commander of the FRSC in the state, confirmed on Saturday. Sonala, who explained that the incident occurred at about 5:48 p.m., said it involved 6 male adults and 1 female adult. The sector commander attributed the cause of the crash, which involved 1 commercial vehicle and a Honda Accord car, to speeding. Sonala admonished motorists to always abide by the traffic rules and regulations, saying any violation would be arrested and prosecuted. Away from that, debate over fuel subsidy has been raging since the sudden announcement by President Bola Tinubu in his inaugural speech that subsidy is gone. Nigerians have been struggling with the effects of the removal, which translated into fuel price hike, triggering rise in cost of living. Now, some suggested reversal of the removal until adequate provision is made. Chamunda Beng reports.
Several analysts have sustained the argument that fuel subsidy removal was the right thing to do to free resources for the critical sectors of the economy like infrastructure, health, and to help propel economic growth. However, since the subsidy removal, Nigerians have had to deal with hardships attributed to the hike in the cost of fuel. The federal government introduced palliatives to be distributed to the poorest Nigerians to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal. However, despite government's attempt to bring some succor to people in difficult situations, many Nigerians remain skeptical that the palliatives will provide some relief to their struggles in life.
First of all, they said remove subsidy gone. You are removing without preparing. They told us, they lied to us that market forces will bring it down. How will market forces bring it down when we are not producing? First of all, we have been having economists who have been speaking effective English every year in, year out, without nothing. Come to the village. I'm from the rural community, and I go and see what the people at the rural community are going through. Have we ever bothered ourselves on how we're going to take care of them? And Nigerians beg us. We are hard-working people, for God's sake. We are hard-working people. Why should palliative worry brought it? Did it work? Now you are bringing palliative. How many people are going to collect this palliative? How many? Is it the farmers in the village or the people in the city? What are the modalities of sharing this? Where is the data?
First, I don't even believe there is fuel subsidy in the first place. It's scam. That's what I believe. And like as you said, whether fuel subsidy can come back to Nigeria. Like I don't believe. But I know if it's true that there's fuel subsidy, then I believe it should come back. Because with the way things are going now, I don't think many people can survive this. Let us be realistic. We don't need that kind of palliative. Let them use all the money to go and repair our refinery. Let them do the refinery. Let it keep working so that everything can work. By providing palliative, providing which palliative? Somebody was saying some time ago that they are going to give us 80,000. Tell me, what is 80,000?
Palliative itself, in my view, is not the best for any government. We needed something that can sustain, because when you talk about sustainability of an issue, palliative is not a sustainable thing continuously. It has a time span in economics. You do it, but for how long will you continue the palliative measure? Vis-a-vis the inflationary trend, vis-a-vis the escalating cost of living, are you going to continue with the palliative? There is no society that will continue palliative. That's not a good economic policy. A good economic policy has to be well thought out idea, managerially.
The recent Consumer Price Index report released by the National Bureau of Statistics showed that Nigeria's inflation rate has sustained an upward trend, with the latest figure hitting an all-time high of 22.79%, with a direct correlation in the cost of living. Even though the federal government has reassured Nigerians that the price of fuel will not rise above the current price following calls for further price hikes by independent oil marketers, financial consultant Dr. Hussaini remains skeptical of the government's reassurance. However, economist Dr. Aliu Audu has a different take.
Subsidy, as we say, is not the best for any government. But in any case, giving subsidy to those whom subsidy is due to, I have no problem with that. All right? If it's back in a way that the average or the generality of people that is meant for, that's okay. It is done everywhere, even in the most advanced country. And no country leaves its economy in the hands of demand and supply. No country. I'm more on the side of independent marketers who are saying it is likely. Because they are on the streets. They know what is happening. They are the major importers. All right? Because you and I know it's not once, it's not twice. The government has said no, NNPC has said no, and the thing comes to fruition. You know that very well. So I am more in agreement with independent marketers than NNPC and even the government.
Independent Marketers Association, there's a profit element. Independent marketers. So they are looking at their own pockets. Government, however, looks at the interest of Nigerians. So why don't we listen to the government? Because if the government says it shouldn't exceed a particular amount, or let's say 600 or so, then they will have measures in place. They have the price control board that will regulate anybody that is trying to outsmart the market. Taking up subsidy doesn't mean the government cannot give palliatives to independent marketers. You could give them tax-free landing concessions. You could give them a lot of palliatives, a lot of economic incentives to bring in fuel. Because if you're importing anything to Nigeria, you must pay an import duty.
Many Nigerians have called for the reversal of the fuel subsidy removal plan, pending when the government can take proper measures to ensure a smooth transition for Nigerians. Analysts, however, say that a reversal in the suspension of the fuel subsidy may worsen the suffering of Nigerians and render efforts of the federal government redundant. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Updates on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll take a look at why late Nigerian flag designer's children want father immortalized. There's and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here is a recap of our top stories. Report you bandits kill 7 worshippers, wound others in Kaduna mosque attack. And Navy hands over 5 suspected oil thieves to police in Lagos. Now moving on to more stories, a 2022 survey by the African Development Bank shows that the middle class makes up about 23% of Nigeria's population. However, that is changing now with the current economic situation in Nigeria, which pushed the middle class down the ladder and on the brink of extinction. Yusuf Akogu reports.
Middle class is the critical mass that forms the glue that keeps modern liberal democratic society from falling apart. It has always been a driving force in national economic productivity, a social class whose education, taste, consumption patterns and activities drive the economy. The indices of middle-class living are measures of every country's economic wealth. The challenge in Nigeria today is that this class of people are almost wiped out completely. What is left now is predominantly rich and impoverished people.
I don't believe they are middle class any longer, because many years ago, average civil servant can afford a car, they can afford a housing opportunity, but there's nothing like that again. There's nothing like mortgage houses for our people. There is nothing like car loan for our people any longer. These are things that we have at early 80s.
According to Dr. Larry Oluwaniyi, the so-called middle class may be living above their means, making them vulnerable to any shocks in the economy.
Loan is not a bad thing as an individual and as a corporate organization. And when we talk about internet fraud, it's a criminality. It's against the law of the land. But if people are collecting loan in achieving to live an expensive life, or that is a deceit, that is taking advantage of the systems.
Government, however, believes that a lot is being done to cushion the effect of economic hardship and to ensure every segment of the society is taken care of.
Everything that he has put in place will definitely happen. We have a president who is proactive, we have a president who listens, and we have a president who is passionate about his country.
Analysts are of the view that if the Nigerian middle class is not catered for urgently, they may be responsible for Nigeria's next phase of the uprising. Yusuf Akogu, Trust Television News, Abuja.
The children of the late designer of the Nigerian flag, Taiwo Akinkunmi, have called on the federal government to immortalize the contribution of their father. First son of the late iconic Nigerian Akinkunmi Akinremi Ayinde made the call in Ibadan, where he described his deceased father as an accomplished patriot whose contribution to national development were immeasurable. The report.
He is gone, but not forgotten. Taiwo Akinkunmi, designer of Nigeria's national flag, remains a remarkable Nigerian whose contribution to nationhood remains indelible in the hearts of many. Moments after his death, his residence in Ibadan is bereft of the usual buzz that accompanies the exit of a great nationalist and symbol of Nigeria's unity. Oblivious of the magnitude of the great loss that has befallen the nation, only a handful of visitors are here to mourn with the immediate family of the deceased. One of the visitors is Elijah Olatunde Taiwo, a former tenant of the late flagman who shared fond memories.
I'm one of his tenants in his old house at Ekutedo Iyolobe. I've been with him since 1976. And he has been a very nice person to me. And he took us as if to say we are his son. Papa Taiwo Akinkunmi has left a very fine legacy to Nigeria as a whole.
A condolence register has been opened in honor of the deceased flagman for visitors to pen down their heartfelt messages. Meanwhile, children of the late Taiwo Akinkunmi have called on the federal government to immortalize the memory of their late father.
He has not been recognized enough because, as you can see, I'll be happy and other will not be happy because since they have not named this man even a block, even a drainage. They did not name this man. They did not name anything on his name at all, which is not okay. People that they are not even people that they don't even do much, like what he did. You can see where they are naming on their name. Whatever is, in fact, we can't say it all.
Our expectations from government is, is too enormous. When he was alive, the government did nothing for him. So when he's now late, unless we, the children, should look to the face of God. As I am personally, I don't look to the government for anything. Concerning me, I don't, but because if you look at Nigeria of today, there are some Nigerians which they did nothing. They contributed nothing to the development of Nigeria, and they are living okay.
The late Taiwo Akinkumi was a designer of the Nigerian flag. He was born in Ibadan on the 10th of May, 1936, where he lived a private life until he passed on to eternal glory in the early hours of Tuesday, August 29.
Away from Nigeria, detained Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, an aspiring presidential candidate and head of state Macky Sall's fiercest critic on Saturday, ended a hunger strike he began on July 30th. Sonko has faced a string of legal woes since 2021 he claims are aimed at keeping him out of politics. Sonko was arrested in late July and charged with crimes including fomenting insurrection, criminal association in connection with a terrorist enterprise, and undermining state security over incidents dating back to 2021. In a separate affair, he was on June 1st sentenced in absentia to 2 years in prison for morally corrupting a young woman, a conviction that makes him ineligible to stand in next year's election. After beginning the hunger protest, he was hospitalized on August 6th and then admitted to an intensive care unit, according to his lawyers and party. The decision comes after several Muslim leaders urged Sonko to end his protest. In Muslim majority Senegal, religious leaders have often helped to mediate political impasses. And Sonko's lawyer and party had warned that his health had seriously deteriorated and that his life was in danger. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms, and you can join our YouTube live stream for more news, program, and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.